Welcome to OMARanger004, and today we will explore the comic book origins of Vigilante. But before we start, please join me on Patreon by OMARanger004. Your small donation helps run the channel. With that out of the way, let's begin. Vigilante is the name used by several fictional characters appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics. Notable individuals to assume the alias include Greg Saunders and Adrian Chase. An original incarnation of Vigilante named Vincent Sobel appeared in the CW Arrowverse series Arrow, portrayed by Clayton Chitty and Johan Urban, voiced by Mick Wingert. Additionally, Adrian Chase appeared in the series as a separate character, portrayed by Josh Segarra. Freddie Stroma portrays the Vigilante incarnation of Chase in the DC Extended Universe (DCEU). HBO Max series Peacemaker, 2021. Greg Saunders. The original version of Vigilante was a Western-themed hero named Greg Sanders, later retconned in the 1990s to Saunders, who debuted in Action Comics number 42, November 1941, 1. The Vigilante had a teen sidekick introduced in 1942, Stuff the Chinatown Kid. 2. Adrian Chase. Adrian Chase first appeared as the second version of Vigilante in the New Teen Titans Annual number 2, August 1983, by writer Marv Wolfman and penciler George Perez. 3. Chase was a district attorney in New York City who went rogue after his wife and children were killed by a gang boss. 4. Alan Wells. The third person to assume the Vigilante identity was Alan Wells, a fellow judge and friend of Adrian Chase. His first appearance was in Vigilante number 7, and later in Vigilante number 20 as Vigilante. He secretly operated in a much more violent manner, even executing petty thieves. His mental instability eventually led him to gun down police officers and civilians. Chase, though, felt responsible for this threat and began a long investigation to take down Vigilante, until Chase found out he was Wells, forcing Chase to kill him. Dave Winston. The fourth person to assume the Vigilante identity was Dave Winston, Adrian Chase's bailiff. He refused to kill and traded on the fierce reputation of Vigilante to intimidate information out of thugs. He debuted in Vigilante number 23 and later as Vigilante in Vigilante number 28. He believed that the Vigilante's efforts were noble and worthwhile. When Alan Wells was killed after ruining the Vigilante's reputation, Winston took up the mantle, believing that the city needed the Vigilante. When Chase found out about Winston's actions, he chose to wash his hands of the affair. When Chase and girlfriend Marcia King boarded a plane for Europe, it was hijacked. Winston and Peacemaker both responded to the emergency, but Winston was killed by Peacemaker in front of Chase, making Chase believe he was unable to escape the Vigilante's legacy. Pat Trace. The next Vigilante was Patricia Trace, a rogue Gotham City police detective who teams up with Deathstroke the Terminator in the Deathstroke the Terminator series written by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. Trace found Adrian Chase's gear and adapted the guise. She was also Deathstroke's lover. She first appeared in Deathstroke the Terminator number 6. In Deathstroke the Terminator number 11, Pat takes up the Vigilante uniform. She was trained by Deathstroke, and soon started to work alone. Citation needed. Adeline Kane. See also Adeline Kane. Justin Powell. Late in 2005, DC published a Vigilante limited series by writer Bruce Jones and artist Ben Oliver. The identity of the title character is initially left mysterious, but apparently this is a new incarnation of the character. Citation needed. His name was Justin J. Sutter. When he encountered a murderer as a child, he created a second personality in his mind, the Vigilante. At some point, he changed his name to Justin Scott Powell and would become the Vigilante subconsciously. While Powell was unaware of the Vigilante personality, the Vigilante knew about Powell. At the menageries end, Powell was able to reconcile the two personalities. Citation needed. The Vigilante was last seen, alongside Wild Dog and the current Crimson Avenger, on a rooftop in the Great Battle of Metropolis, raining bullets down on the Trigger Twins, the Madman, the Second Spellbinder, and others in Infinite Crisis number 7. 5. Dorian Chase, the most recent Vigilante, appeared in Nightwing number 133 to 137. While he wears a costume similar to Adrian Chase's, it is a new depiction under the mask. Note that Marv Wolfman has pointed out the 321 days arc was cut short by 2 issues due to Batman RIP, which required the Nightwing title to feature in it, so the final story is seen ended without any clear closure for any of the characters. Citation needed. The Vigilante also appears in Gotham Underground, set after his initial encounter with Nightwing. 6. He is shown to be a formidable fighter, but is defeated easily by Batman. 7-8 Following the events of Vigilante, Volume 3, Number 1, February 2009, the Vigilante is seen out of costume for the first time and is referred to by his ally JJ as Dorian. He initially operates under the identity of Joe Flynn, a small-time criminal with a rap sheet, but it is later revealed that the real Joe Flynn is dead. Dorian has the technology to graft another person's face to his own, and his assistant changes the police records so his fingerprint and DNA point back to his fake identity. At the end of the first story arc, Dorian abandons the Joe Flynn identity and begins to make preparations to assume a new identity of a dead and forgotten criminal. It is also revealed that Dorian is the brother of the late Adrian Chase in Vigilante number 9. Little is known about his past, but his wife is dead and he served time in prison for his work with the mob. 9. At one point, JJ warns Vigilante about the dangers of pushing himself to the point of destruction, commenting that he saw it happen with Adrian. Vigilante describes his predecessor as a fool. Citation needed. The Vigilante plays an important role in the Death Trap crossover with the Teen Titans and the Titans. He targets the unbalanced Jericho for assassination, bringing him into conflict with the various heroes. Vigilante succeeds in tracking down Jericho, but, having promised Rose Wilson not to kill him, instead gouges out Jericho's eyes to stop him from using his powers. 10. The Vigilante had been operating unseen in Europe for several years before moving back to the US and going after local mobs and criminals. 9. Donald Fairchild in the DC Rebirth miniseries Vigilante Southland, a new Vigilante is introduced. Donald Fairchild, a former professional basketball player. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more videos about your favorite comics, movies are coming soon. Please join me on Patreon by Omaranger004. Your small donation helps run the channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.